advantage of Krishna consciousness that it's not dependent on any external factor. There's no material obstacle. Okay, so we'll just offer prayers and then we'll start our discussion today. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutappadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा So today we'll be discussing from the Bhagavad Gita. So the whole nation yesterday was celebrating the Independence Day. So Chetan Chanpu is a very amazing speaker, amazing personality and wonderful devotee. So he gave a class on Independence Day yesterday. He was talking about IAS. So we'll not go into that discussion right now. But one of the things he was speaking, the first point was if we want to know who we are. So basically what he was saying, the basic point what he was saying was that all over the world, because he has traveled all over the world and he spends a lot of time most of the year abroad in different places. He said Indians are respected everywhere because in most countries then it's the Indians who are leading the show, and they are known to be very law-abiding and sincere, hardworking, and productive. So they are valued a lot, respected everywhere. But he said somehow India is not respected, and people have all kinds of weird misconceptions about what is India, and they think it's like very downtrodden place or whatever, different weird misconceptions. So he was telling in his talk, which was IAS, first point I was you should be informed. You should be well informed about what is our culture, what exactly is the speciality of India. So most often it is seen that people are not aware what is our speciality. Now any common person, you go and ask him, गीता के बारे में सुना है क्या? He said हाँ गीता तो बचपन से हम पढ़ रहे हैं, सब कुछ मालूम है हमें गीता में, सब मालूम. And unfortunately, out of almost all of the people, I mean there are very few exceptions also, but almost everybody, if you ask them, ठीक है गीता के बारे में आप बचपन से पढ़ रहे हैं, like in Marathi we used to do a lot of book distribution, they'll say हाँ वाच ले पढ़ लिया गीता पढ़ लिया. So if you ask him, ठीक है क्या है गीता में, पहले अध्याय में क्या है, so they may not be able to tell very clearly, or they may not be able to tell at all. So therefore, as responsible Indians, India is known for some technical things, whatever, all CEO of Google, CEO of this, CEO of that, all of them are Indians. वो सब ठीक है. But India is primarily known for, or should be known for its spiritual contribution. And everybody in the world knows about Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, as Indians, it is our duty to, like Mahaprabhu would always say, Janma Sardhaka Kari Kara Parapakar. First duty of an Indian, being born in this Bharata Varsha, first duty is to perfect one's life. Janma Sardhaka Kari. And Kara Paraupakar. So to do Paraupakar, to benefit the whole world. There is a Subhashita which says, Paropakararthaya idam shariram. The whole life, this body, everything which is we are given is for the sake of Paropakar. For Para Upakar. Para means others. Upakar is benefiting. So it is for the sake of benefiting others. And there is no higher spiritual benefit or benefit one can give to others than spiritual benefit. Especially the way Krishna speaks the whole science in the Gita and transforms Arjuna's consciousness. Though Arjuna was a pure devotee, still for the sake of all of us, to get Krishna's teaching to all of us, that Krishna's teaching will appear in this world, he played a role by which he became bewildered. And Krishna spoke the Gita to him, therefore enlightening him. And in that speech, that short speech of 700 verses, Krishna covered everything that we need to know. Therefore, in the whole Vedic tradition, the Bhagavad Gita, it holds a very unique position. Because even the Vedic tradition is so vast, there are so many categories, so many things. But sometimes people get bewildered what exactly we should do. It says Ganapati, there's Durga, and there is this, there is that. Somebody says you do yajna, somebody says you do this homa, somebody says you do this japa. That so many things are there. So to know what is the conclusion is very difficult if one tries to study the whole Vedic literature. Therefore, in the Gita itself, Krishna speaks this in the second chapter. Yadha te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. He says this, Yatha gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. He says when you go beyond this Veda. So there he's basically talking about this whole khichdi hosh posh, which people have misunderstanding. So he says when you go beyond that and try to understand the purpose of things, then you will become clear. So the Gita is a very unique book. All the acharyas, they have given unique position to the Bhagavad Gita, where they have said that the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic literature. So if we want to know what exactly is to be done, or what is Veda, what is yoga, what is the goal of life, who is Bhagwan, what is material nature, what is how do you do activities, karma, and what is the nature of time. Everything that one needs to know is there in this one literature. So therefore, not just for Indians, but everybody in the world, the Bhagavad Gita is a very important book. So therefore, if we want to know what is Vedic science, if we want to know what is this whole thing about, if you just study and try to understand this one book, everything is there in this book. Therefore, it is specifically said about the Gita that in this book there is something which is whatever is there in this book, and what is there in this book you will not find anywhere else. Means whatever you find in the whole Vedic literature, whole gamut of Vedic literature, which is extremely vast and big, everything is there and present in this one book, Bhagavad Gita. And there are some things mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita which you study everywhere, all the Vedic literature or all the literature of the world, you will not find. So therefore, this book is given a very unique, important position. So now, as all of you know, that Prabhupada wrote a commentary, purports to this book, Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada called the book as the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Again, it's a very unique way, because everybody tries to put their own understanding into the Gita, and therefore the message gets lost and diluted or contaminated or whatever. But Prabhupada said, I am giving this Bhagavad Gita as it is. As Krishna spoke to Arjuna, the same message is passed down in the Parampara system. And Prabhupada speaks this, and therefore he named this Bhagavad Gita. He said there are a lot of Gita commentaries, there are almost 700 Gita commentaries. Prabhupada talks in the preface. But none of them actually convey what Krishna wants to mention. Because the authors add their own understanding in between, distorted understanding in between, therefore distorting the message. So the message is lost. But Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita, he has preserved the message and presented what Krishna has spoken to Arjuna in a way we can understand without distorting it. And therefore he gives, in the end of the introduction, he gives the whole Parampara line, starting from Lord Krishna himself, Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhvacharya, and so on, it goes on till Prabhupada. So this is the parampara in which the Gita is received. And why this is mentioned in the Gita itself again, in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara prapta. If you have to learn this science, you have to receive it through the parampara system. So that Krishna himself mentions it to Arjuna. This science is received through the parampara system. Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishayo viduhu. So, and if you want to learn the truth, then you need to approach a bona fide spiritual master. So what we will be attempting to do is very simple. Whenever we meet, or whatever the circumstances are, then we will try to go through chapter by chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and present what is there in the Gita in a little concise way. Because, Prabhupada wrote this article somewhere in the 1960s. No time, disease of modern man. He said no time. Everybody you ask, he says, do you have some time? I mean, if you say, Gita padhenge, kuch samay hai kya? They say, no, busy. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to go to this, I have to do that. So even in now lockdown time, where most of the people are restricted to their homes, still when you ask, he says, अभी जब लॉकडाउन नहीं था तब कर सकते थे, अभी क्या है, ये अटेंड करना है, वो अटेंड करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है, और सब very busy. So therefore, even in the Bhagavatam, when the sages ask question to to Suta Goswami, he says saram samudritam. He says, whatever, the whole Vedic literature is so huge, we don't have that much time. So you tell in essence. So he says, tell us the essence of the Vedic literature. So that's one of the questions which the sages ask to Suta Goswami in the beginning, 1st chapter of the Bhagavatam. So therefore, we will try to go in little essence of what is there in the Gita. At the same time, we'll try to cover as much as possible. Okay, so the 1st chapter of the Gita is very interesting. If you see, there is just most of the 1st chapter, big part of the 1st chapter is some drama. There's a drama going on. Means the whole proper title says as setting the stage. Prabhupada has written that in the beginning of the Gita itself, setting the scene. So it is like setting the stage of the Bhagavad Gita. And to tell in 2 short sentences, what is there in the 1st chapter is Arjuna's first is the observing the army, and second is Arjuna's lamentation. These are the 2 parts of the 1st chapter. Observing the armies and Arjuna's lamentation. So in Sanskrit it is called Sainya Nirikshana Yoga and Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So every chapter has the titles in Sanskrit ending with yoga. So that's also an interesting discussion. Sainya Nirikshana. means observing the army. Sainya's army, Nirikshana is observing. So there are the very interesting personality starts the whole thing in the Bhagavad Gita. First is Dhritarashtra is the one who is hearing Bhagavad Gita from Sanjaya. This is some devotees call it the first television show. Television is Doordarshan or Doordarshan, first Doordarshan show. Doordarshan is because Sanjaya was sitting with Dhritarashtra far away, and Sanjaya had this divine vision presented by the mercy of Vyasadeva he received. He could see what is happening in the battlefield, and he was relaying it to Dhritarashtra. So पहला दूरदर्शन शो. तो दूरदर्शन अभी नहीं आया, 5000 साल पहले ही था. तो पहला दूरदर्शन शो था. धृतराष्ट्र seeing or hearing the Bhagavad Gita from Sanjaya. So he asked, क्या हुआ? They all assembled in the battlefield to fight. So it's very interesting. So the first half, you can observe the different personalities present there. Dhritarashtra, who kicks off the Bhagavad Gita with his verse, with his question, what happened? He says they all assembled to fight. What happened? So essentially that question is a non-existent question, which he answers himself. He says they all assembled to fight. And then what happened? So it's like all devotees sat down for prasadam, to take prasadam, honor prasadam. And then what did they do? He says, what do you mean, what did they do? They took prasad, of course. So isn't it an obvious question? So sometimes when things don't make immediate sense, so then what is done is there is a hidden meaning behind which is taken. So basically Dhritarashtra was asking to Sanjaya, because everybody knew, in Mahabharata, all of you know these events which led to the whole battle. They were all taking sides and all that, and finally when Krishna had to choose, Arjuna was given the choice. Duryodhana and Arjuna approached Krishna, and then Arjuna immediately chose Krishna. And then later on, Duryodhana was very happy, saying that he forgot the army. He gave up the army. Means Krishna said either Narayan Sena or me. So that was the offer. And then Duryodhana felt, Arjuna is so foolish. We have an army and Krishna is not going to lift a weapon and he is going to be on their side. Then Shakuni himself, he chastises Duryodhana. I said, you fool, you don't know whichever side Krishna is present, that side will win. So everybody had it in their mind, especially Dhritarashtra had it in mind. We are not following dharma. So, and especially Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is on the other side. So basically he's asking this Sanjaya that is there any chance that we will win? That was his question. So though he asked it in a different way. So this is the first lesson of the Gita which we understand from the first chapter, that taking the wrong side or following the path of adharma may bring some temporary immediate victory or win, but ultimately one will become the loser. Though the Pandavas were outnumbered, though they were always put in very disadvantageous positions, or still because they always followed the path of dharma, therefore Krishna protected them. There is this verse which Bhishma tells to Yudhishthir Maharaj, which comes in the Bhagavatam when Bhishma is about to leave his body. So then when the Pandavas approach, Krishna arranges that all of them dressed like kings approach Bhishma, who is on the battlefield lying down on the arrow bed, not able to move anything other than his eyes. So he is lying like that. And then he tells to the Pandavas, he says, Aho kastam aho anyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana jivatam narahitum klishtam vipra dharma achyutashrayah. So he says you did not deserve to live because you were put into so many difficulties right from the beginning of your lives. But you were protected because of these reasons: Vipra, Dharma, and Achyuta Ashraya. So he said, because you took shelter of the Brahmanas, because you took shelter of Dharma, and because you took shelter of Achyuta, therefore you were protected. He says you suffered in spite of being Dharmanandana. So in spite of being such religious, strict followers of Dharma, in spite of that they suffered. So by this we understand that if we follow the path of Krishna consciousness, or if we follow the path of Dharma, there will be difficulties which will come on the path. But as long as we stick to the path of Krishna consciousness or adapt Krishna consciousness in our life, follow the path of Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will protect us, and ultimately we will be victorious, even if there are certain temporary reversals in between. Of course, Krishna will not send difficulties to that extent as he sent or arranged for the Pandavas. Uh, we will not be able to handle it. Krishna is quite merciful. He will not put us into that many difficulties which we cannot handle. He did that to the Pandavas to show all of us a lesson that, see, in spite of such great difficulties also, they did not leave Krishna consciousness. Or finally they said that, in between, "Arey, ज़्यादा हो गया अभी let's worship Kali or something." So they did not. They never left these three things. So that is the first thing. So even Dhritarashtra was aware that they are on a very negative path. And on top of that, the fight was in Kurukshetra, which is a holy place. So, and Krishna is personally present on the other side. So he was asking this question to the Sanjay that, okay, kya hai? Will the holy place influence the Pandavas, that they will become non-violent suddenly and feel that we should not fight and just give up everything, or will it influence negatively on my sons who are on the path of adharma, because that is a place of dharma? uh, so he had all these questions. So one thing is, we can understand, if we are on the path of Krishna consciousness, nothing inauspicious will happen. That Krishna mentions in the end of the 6th chapter also, when Arjuna asks a question that what will happen to those who do not complete the path of Krishna consciousness? They become deviated in between, or they leave their bodies, or they suddenly have to stop Krishna consciousness in between, or what if they are not able to continue the path of Krishna consciousness? They will neither get this nor that, neither material nor spiritual life they will get. So Krishna answers that, saying that, nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Says, oh dear Arjuna, says, no one who is engaged in kalyanakrit, means this is auspicious activities. Krishna consciousness is the most auspicious activity. So if anybody who is engaged in auspicious activities will never get durgati, they will never meet an inauspicious end. So nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Tata means, oh dear affectionate Arjuna, like that. So he says, he is very affectionately telling us, don't worry, kuch hoga nahi. No, nothing negative will happen. In fact, anybody who is on the path of Krishna consciousness, everything is all auspicious. So therefore, the first part of the Gita, then Duryodhana, he starts speaking, because Sanjaya quotes Duryodhana, what Duryodhana is saying to Dhritarashtra. He says, Raja Vachanam Abravit. He says, Raja Duryodhana. Just to pacify Yudhishthira, Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya says, Raja Duryodhana. Raja, he addresses Raja, is saying like this. Then Duryodhana speaks a few verses where he compares, he goes to Dronacharya, and he compares his army and the Pandavas' army in front of Dronacharya. So Duryodhana is a political person. So there are a lot of lessons we learn from Duryodhana's speech. I'm sure all of you have access to the Bhagavad Gita. So you can later on read the translations of these verses, what exactly Duryodhana says. But Duryodhana uses all his political maneuvering and his skill. He uses it to meet his ends. So what this is called as Rajaniti. The politicians uh, or those who are administrative heads, they have to be very intelligent, and they have to speak in a way in which everybody is encouraged. At the same time, what they want is also achieved. So the Kshatriyas, they are trained in all of these things also, not just fighting, you know, that they are expert in anyway. But they know the political science very clearly and how to use it. So Arjuna, here Duryodhana express, he shows great political talent. He goes to uh, Dronacharya and says, "See, your intelligent disciple has arranged this whole military phalanx on the other side." Because Duryodhana also seeing that was a little shocked. He said, "My God, they have arranged themselves nicely. I thought nobody will take this side, but 7 Akshahanis took the other side." So he was also a little bit taken back. So he went to Dronacharya. So he spoke in such a way that he wanted to incite Dronacharya, because he knew that there are some personalities on my side who are the most powerful warriors, but their heart is not here. They have been forced by circumstances to take my side. So he wanted to make sure that they will not be a little lenient in the fight. So, because Dronacharya's favorite student is who? It's Arjuna, who's on the other side. Bhishma, Pandavas are very dear to him, and he knows that the Duryodhana and company, they are evil, they are on the path of adharma. So he wanted to make sure that they will be in their best spirit. So what he did, he went and he spoke to Dronacharya in such a way that see, your disciple who only taught him, and he is on the other side now. Drishtadyumna, your intelligent disciple, he has arranged the phalanx. He is the commander on the other side. So, so he says, he tells him these things just to incite him that okay, he will fight vigorously, and he will not show any leniency towards the Pandavas, especially Arjuna. Even to Bhishma, then he encourages, saying that, oh, all of you, protect Bhishma, because he is the most powerful warrior on our side. And then he says, okay, but all of you are, ayaneshu sarveshu, madarthe tyakta jivitaha. So he says, all of you also. He wants to speak in such a way that, he encourages everybody on his side. So he says, all of you are ready to give up your life for me, all of you are great warriors. So it is said, there is Sanskrit, the commentaries, they call it Saraswati Artha. Saraswati Artha means sometimes Saraswati Devi makes even these demoniac personalities, asuras, use such wordings or language which have double meaning. So by mistake they tell the truth sometimes. So here Duryodhana says, Madarte tyakta jivita. He says they have already given up their life. Means he uses past tense. Tyakta jivita. Tyakta means mar gaye. मेरा साइड लेके मर गए वो लोग. So he says, so indirectly our Acharya's comment there, this is an indication of sign of victory for the Pandavas. He says, just by deciding to take the side of adharma, they have already died. So that's what the words which come out of Duryodhana's mouth. But anyway, he wants to encourage them, that saying that you're so dedicated towards me, so like that. And then seeing all this, Bhishma, he says, "अरे ये बच्चा बहुत insecure हो रहा है." Because sometimes when people start boasting about themselves, it is because of a feeling of insecurity. So that's why people start telling about themselves. Oh, मैंने ये किया था, वो किया था. So somebody starts glorifying about themselves or talking too much about themselves or thinking too much about themselves, you should understand that it is because they are insecure and they want others to notice how great I am, and therefore they speak. They want people to notice how great they are. Therefore they try to make it clear to everybody. देखो मैंने किया था वो सब, ये सब वो मेरा करा हुआ है, किया हुआ चीज़ है ये. So indirectly or directly they start. In Telugu we call this self dabba. Somebody is going hitting dabba, saying dub 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 dub, me. So like that. So seeing that Duryodhana was becoming more and more insecure, trying to compare both sides, each party, मेरे लोग इतने ये हैं, उनके लोग वो हैं. Bhishma feels, ठीक है. I think this fellow needs a little encouragement. So Bhishma Dev, he takes his conch shell, mighty conch shell, and blows, uh, because he's the most senior person, and this is the indication of starting of the war. Therefore, the first person who blows the conch shell is Bhishma. So he blew the conch shell. So Kshatriyas have a way to encourage each other. It's not like, as Kshatriyas, if they want to encourage the other person, they will like roar or blow. Blowing conch shell means there's such a tumultuous sound. In that verse which says how Bhishma blew the conch shell, it says Simhanadam Vinadyochaihi Shankam Dadmau Pradad Madhu. Simhanada Vinadyoche. So two times it says that Vinadya, or it says or Simhanada. It's like a lion. He blew the conch shell. It sounded like a lion roaring. So that is a way in which Kshatriyas encourage each other. Blow the conch shell, like showing their valor, showing their strength. So seeing Bhishma blow the conch shell, then both sides, both parties, they blow their conch shells. And then that's a beautiful description there. And then so there is this so on both sides they blow the conch shells. And especially it says when these Pandavas, side of the Pandavas, they blew their conch shells. He says the hearts, Dhratra Rashtrasya Hridayani Vidarayat. So it says Hridayani Vidarayat means their hearts were shattered. The people, the side of the Pandava, the Kauravas, hearing the sound of the conch shells blown from the Pandava side, their hearts were shattered. So this is one thing. Though the number of the Pandava side were small, they were so much together in spirit. They were so high in spirit that their blowing of the conch shells shattered the other side. So this is one another important lesson. As devotees, though many times we may be outnumbered, but because devotees are in such high spirits, when they proclaim the message of Krishna, then it's like the hearts of the atheists are shattered, though they're always in majority number. So devotees are always having very high confidence and spirit. They're high in spirits. So in that sense, it says spirit matters. Having high spirit, it matters a lot. So this is one thing. If we know that we are on the right path, if we know that we have taken to the path of Krishna consciousness, if we know the glory of this process of devotional service, if we know the glory of Krishna consciousness, then we will be so confident in anything we do. So this is the result of practicing Krishna consciousness, that one is completely freed of any kind of doubts and hesitations one will have. All of you will have this experience when you are driving. Long ago, before the lockdown, we used to drive freely on the roads. So if you're going from, say, from one place to another place, say if you're going to Lonavala or something, just some place which came to my mind. But so if you're driving to Lonavala, and if you are always doubtful from whichever place you start, from Kopargaon or anywhere, you're starting to drive to Lonavala. If you are having big doubt, which direction is Lonavala? Every single turn, every single kilometer which you pass, you are asking, kis taraf hai Lonavala? You are always having this doubt. Then how long will it take you to reach Lonavala? It will take you extremely long time. But suppose if you knew exactly, you have been there before, or you have proper guide, Google Map or something like that, which very clearly tells you though कौन सा रास्ता है अभी, after 100 meters turn right, ऐसे कुछ directions भी आ रहे हैं, you know. Then how quickly will you reach? So therefore, if you know, just knowing a certain goal is not sufficient. Having faith and confidence in the process is also important. Because if we know confidently that we are on the best path, on the right path, we will go also quickly, and we will not stop every now and then trying to figure out, okay, सही जा रहा हूँ कि नहीं, सही जा रहा हूँ कि नहीं. So that question also we will not have. Therefore, our progress on the path of Krishna consciousness also will be extremely swift. So therefore, these sections will come in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna talks about doubts, especially in the end of the 4th chapter, where he talks about this path, glories of transcendental knowledge, where it says, okay, you go to a spiritual master and learn the truth, and then it talks about how beautiful this process is, and then it says one of the obstacles you will face in this process is, which may hinder your progress, is doubts. That's where this verse comes. It says, Agnyascha ashraddhadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati. Nayam loko, what it says, na sukham samshayatmanaha. Nayam lokosti na paro, na sukham samshayatmanaha. It says 3 kinds of people he talks about. Agnya. Agnya is somebody who does not know only. जिसको मालूम ही नहीं है जब करना है. Hare Krishna करना है. He doesn't know only. So what will he do? Therefore, for such people, you tell them, okay, see, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day gives immense benefits. It comes down a little bit about chanting. It says chanting is very simple. It doesn't take long time. You just have to sit down and focus on the Mahamantra and chant with beads. Keep count and chant. Chant how much ever is easily possible for you. 1 round, 2 round, 5 round, 10 round, 16 round is practical only. It just takes some time to get adjusted to it. So he says this is minimum. So somebody comes to know about chanting, they will their ignorance is cleared away. Means they know now, so therefore they would like to do. So this is the first level of people, which is called agnya. Gnya means to know. Agnya means they don't know. So therefore we tell them, they understand. So second level he says is ashraddha dhana. मालूम है, श्रद्धा नहीं है. Faith is not there. ठीक है, heard that, को कोटि दानम ग्रहणम खगस्य प्रयाग गंगोदक कल्पवासः यज्ञायुतं मेरु सुवर्ण दानम गोविंद कीर्तेः न समम शतांशैः. He says when the grahan is going on, khaga is moon, when the lunar eclipse is going on, so it's the custom that one does all kinds of punya activities is done at that time. So it says at that time, if you go koti danam, so 1 crore cows you give in donation. Grahanam khagasya, grahane khagasya, prayaga gangodaka kalpavasa. It says when the Prayag and Gangodaka, you go to Prayag. It says if you do 1 minute or 1 day of austerities in there, it's like doing 100 years of austerities. So it says even when one sleeps in these holy places, like Gangodaka is where the origin of Ganga, and Prayag is the confluence of the 3 holy rivers, Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. So it says Kalpavasa, it says 1 day of Brahma, 1000 Divya Yugas, which is like 43 lakh into 1000 years, you can calculate. So that many years you stay in Prayag. It says Yajna Yutam, in the Yajna, when a Yajna is performed, when that time you perform charity, it's like considered millions of times more benefit. So it says you do Meru Suvarna Danam. Means Meru Parvat is, in the scriptures it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, 10,000 yojanas height. 1 yojana is 8 miles, 12 kilometers. So 120,000 miles, kilometers, 120,000, 1 crore 20,000 kilometers high, and it's like very big also, some 10 yojanas wide or whatever. It says that is made of solid gold, and that much gold donation you give, during yajna, performing a yajna. It says Govinda Kirte. When you say Govinda once, uh, na samam shatamsha. All of these together are not even shata amsha, a hundredth part of this also. That also you cannot compare. Of chanting Govinda once. So fine, sometimes people come to know this. Hey, really, they will just chant Govinda, 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 Govinda. So much benefit we are getting. So you can't even compare, because holy name is not that. Nothing material you can compare it with. It is beyond. So sometimes when people hear this also, still they said, really, विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है. So they are called ashraddha dhana. So ऐसे लोगों के लिए, if you systematically explain, not just systematically explain, they know it, but when they get the association of somebody who has faith, so then they will benefit. So it is said, डिवोटी का एसोसिएशन मिलता है. सब वंस व्हेन वी वर डूइंग बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, बहुत लोग लेते नहीं, गीता को लेके बोलते हैं हाँ ले है, इवन इफ दे डोंट हैव इट, है हमारे पास है. They just want to get rid of us. But sometimes what happens, once I was talking to one person, so somehow he agreed to talk to me. So as I started telling Gita this, Gita that, because long time nobody took a book, so somebody talked after a long time. So I started telling. He said, I really don't want it, but you are saying, so I will take and read. So that time I understood. He says, when I don't have the desire, it is the desire of Prabhupada that everybody take book and read, Bhagavad Gita and read. So this is the desire. Somebody gets influenced by that. एंड ही फर्स्ट ठीक है, मुझे तो मालूम नहीं इसमें क्या है अच्छा बुरा, लेकिन आप बोल रहे हैं तो ठीक है, मैं भी पढ़ लेता हूँ. तो दे आर अश्रद्धा धाना, बट देन बाय द एसोसिएशन ऑफ समबडी हु हैज़ फेथ, वॉट एवर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, दे ऑल्सो टेक अप टू कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, और दे टेक अप टू द चैंटिंग ऑफ द होली नेम. So that is Ashraddha Dhana. And then third category is the most tough. Krishna calls him as Samshayatma. So literally translate करेंगे तो doubting soul. सबका doubt करेगा वो. Says beads, we have to use beads. क्यों? ऐसे क्यों? वैसे हम मन में क्यों नहीं जप कर सकते? Then we tell, okay, say and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then they say, ऐसे ही क्यों करना है? हरे राम क्यों नहीं पहले करना है? फिर पहले तो राम आए थे, फिर कृष्ण आए थे ना. Every small thing, then they will doubt. So he says, such a person vinashyati, samshayatma vinashyati. It is said, a doubting soul is destroyed. Literally it means that. So if one is having so many doubts, in spite of getting association of very pure devotees, one will not be able to benefit. So anyway, this is how this is one of the obstacles one may face in one's Krishna consciousness. So therefore, we should give benefit of doubt first to devotees, means थोड़ा विश्वास रखना चाहिए भक्तों के ऊपर, and then we should slowly get our doubts clarified. So once our doubts are destroyed, then we will also get the confidence which the devotees have, which shattered, such confidence shattered the hearts of the other party. So in that way, once they blew their conch shells, then Arjuna, so you have this series of verses where he is using the word Iksha, Viksha, where he says, I want to see. He says, please take me in between the army. I want to see who all have assembled. He wanted to see them face to face. That okay, these are the people who I have to face. So all of those series of verses, many verses where Arjuna uses the word I want to see. So by this we understand, if we rely too much on seeing there represents on our senses, we will get bewildered, because the world is not exactly how we perceive it. Therefore Arjuna got bewildered. Just Dhanurudhyamya Pandava. Says Arjuna was ready to fight by taking his Gandiva bow, famed Gandivapo. He was ready to fight, and then he tells Krishna, he says, Yavan etan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan khair maya sah yodhavyam yuddhe priya chikirshava. He says, all these people who want to fight, I want to see them. So in those days there was no WhatsApp, Facebook, where you can know your status of everybody who is on which side. That सबने अपना स्टेटस करके रखा है दुर्योधन और युधिष्ठिर महाराज. ऐसा स्टेटस नहीं था, फेसबुक स्टेटस, फ्रेंड एनवी स्टेटस वॉट एवर. तो ही वॉन्टेड टू सी फाइनली सबको साथ में देखना चाहते. सो दैट वॉज दी relying on pratyaksha praman. Pratyaksha is on our senses, will put you into illusion. So therefore if you see, if you want to do research on our own and see, then we will also get bewildered like Arjuna. That is the understanding which we get from this first chapter. So Arjuna was also not ordinary personality. Once he gets bewildered, means that just one verse you see, he changes his whole consciousness. Where he is first saying Dhanurudhyamya, then he says Swasura, Matula, Putran, Pautran, Bhratran, then all those words comes. He says, suddenly he starts seeing, he says, Dhartarashtra se durbuddhe hai, yuddhe priya chikirshva. He says, those evil-minded sons of Dhritarashtra, he says in one verse. The next verse he is saying, they are my brothers. They are my mother's side relatives, they are my father's side relatives, they are my sons, grandsons. Suddenly he sees everybody as his relatives. So it's very interesting. Krishna also is a very amazing personality, supreme personality, but he does things which are very bewildering sometimes. So he takes him, he says, Bhishma Drona Pramukhatah Sarvesham Mahikshitam. In front of all of these warriors, he takes them in front of Bhishma and Drona. And he says, Uvacha Partha Pashya. He says, see, Etan Pashya. He says, Samavetan Kurun. Pashya Samavetan Kurun. He says, see all of them who are assembled. And he shows his hand to Bhishma and Drona. Of all the people in the battlefield, he was most attached to Bhishma and Drona. And उनके सामने ही लेके आके वो बोले देखो कौन आया है युद्ध करने के लिए. So seeing that, Arjuna suddenly gets bewildered, and then he sees everybody as their relatives on the other side, and then he says, I will be the cause of all of these people's deaths. And he gives 5 reasons, 5 very powerful, and it's interesting because even Arjuna was very learned in scripture. So he gave 5 reasons based on Shastra why he will not fight. The only problem was those 5 reasons were based on his understanding from his point of view. So even if we know things, if we get bewildered, then all our understanding will act like a silk turban on a drowning man. Bhagavatam says, Bharam Param Patta Kirita Jushtam. It says, Patta means silk. Patta Kiritam. Kirita is turban. So if somebody is wearing a very thick, heavy, in Maharashtra you have, right? Pheta bolte, no? So you have this big silk, heavy turban, and is drowning when he has a silk turban. What is it going to do? It is going to help him drown further. So, if we are in bodily consciousness, then all our extra knowledge which we have, we may be extraordinarily intelligent, but it is going to make us drown faster. So this we understand from the first chapter. So I'll end with this lesson, but because our time is also up, is that even if we know, because all of us are qualified people, all devotees who are assembled, they are very intelligent. Many have read the Gita many times.